full Team of the Year breakdown. Everything that you need to know about making each of the Team of the Year cards, which ones are the best in terms of abilities and attributes and value going forward. What the hell are Hutverse cards, as well as a lot of math. So first thing, let's take a look at all of the Team of the Year winners in complete detail, starting with Connor McDavid. Now, one of the best things about these cards is they all get +3 to each of these synergy slots, meaning that they can activate almost half of an entire team-based synergy, and on the defensive side of things, just activate a synergy by themselves, which significantly changes a few of their attributes quite considerably. In terms of what Connor McDavid can look like with a perfect build, we've got Sniper Forward, which would help out with his shot. Speed Boost would give him a 99 overall speed stat, which would be one of the only cards in the game that has it. On top of that, because he's got such high speed already, when he gets a few more upgrades and gets to 99 first in terms of speed, which will happen shortly, you can actually switch this to defensive boost, which would make his face-off rating much higher. His third slot, in my opinion, with checking boost and playmaking boost. Shooting boost would max out his wrist shot accuracy, which in my opinion would be the best way to go about this thing. That means you've got a 99 speed, 97 excel, 96 agility, Connor McDavid with 99 accuracy on his shot. His hand stats are almost maxed, has gold wheels, and unstoppable force as an elite combo. You can even go elite edges or born leader. All of these are great options for you, making him the best card in the game, in my opinion. Now, in terms of should you trade him in for your X Factor Connor McDavid, we're going to get to that in just a little bit. Now, Nathan MacKinnon's card is in roughly the same boat as Connor McDavid. That first slot can go to Sniper Forward, which would improve his wrist shot power and accuracy, as well as his slap shot. And then you can use Speed Boost to get his speed up to 99. But again, because it's at 97, it will get to 99 very quickly, at which point you can change it to defensive boost, which would then make his face-off rating even higher, making him a lot more viable at center. Not that he isn't able to play center right now. That final slot, you can go shooting boost, and combined with Sniper Forward, you almost have a 99 shooting Nathan MacKinnon card. Again, gold wheels after the patch makes him almost impossible to stop down the boards, or straight up the middle of the ice. Silver unstoppable force and elite edges is an elite combo, and for fun, you can go silver 1T so you can actually score one-timer goals. Ankle breaker if you want to deke at top-end speed, and then make it snappy as well, which has definitely had its usefulness in NHL 24. Again, one of the best cards in the game. Now, Matthew Tkachuk is probably going to be one of the most asked about, simply because at face value, he doesn't look nearly as good as the other options at Team of the Year. He's only got 89 speed and acceleration. He can't play center. He's a pure winger. And while his abilities are fun, when it comes to the other Team of the Year options, they are a lot more competitive online. However, once you dig into the synergies and things that you can do with Matthew Tkachuk, it kind of changes your outlook on him. First things first is that he can activate Enforcer Forward almost by himself. He's halfway there, and the important part about that is that his speed would go up by +2 if you can get 3 more Enforcer Forward synergies. So if you have someone like Gordie Howe, you're almost there. His secondary slot has speed boost and accelerator boost, meaning that you can even out his acceleration to both be at 91, or you can double down and get his speed all the way up to 93. And then the final one, because his body checking is already so high, you could increase it with checking boost, or you can go shooting boost, which would get his wrist shot and slap shot up just a little bit higher. Once you have all of these things combined, this is a much better looking card. Gold unstoppable force on someone who is 6'2", 201 with 92 balance, as well as 93 strength, is going to make it very hard to get him knocked off the puck. And then if you activate any of these abilities in and around the goalie, he is going to cause just an absolute mess down there. Silver truculence means that you can actually forecheck against some of the bigger defensemen, but potentially the biggest thing to keep in mind when it comes to Matthew Tkachuk is that the change in progression this year means that his next upgrade is not going to be +1 to the highest rated event card or live moment card or even milestone card. The next upgrade to any of these cards will be 93 overall, which means you do not have to wait for Matthew Tkachuk to essentially go up 7 overall from other events outside of Team of the Year before you start to see upgrades. This means that if he has a hat trick in his very next game and gets a live moments card, you've got a 93 Matthew Tkachuk, which again, drastically changes the outlook on him. Also keep in mind, when everyone is at 99, which these cards will all eventually get to, he is going to be one of the best builds simply because he is bigger. So while I don't think he's in the same tier as MacKinnon and McDavid, he is still very, very good. Next up is Cale Makar. And again, you can do some interesting things with the synergy combo. Now, because he is a defenseman, he can activate any synergy essentially by himself when it comes to the defensive synergy. So, for example, you could throw Enforcer Defenseman on him, and it would activate entirely, and he would have 99 speed, which would mean his secondary slot, which has speed boost, you can go accelerator boost, which would mean you have a 99 acceleration, 99 speed defenseman, which is the fastest in the game. His third slot of checking boost or shooting boost, again, if you are able to get checking boost activated combined with enforcer defenseman, you now have an almost 90 overall body checking Cale Makar that has 99 speed, 99 acceleration. Now, when it comes to his abilities, there is not a big separation from his Team of the Year card to his X Factor, and I'll touch more on that when it comes to the situations that you guys are in terms of what you should do, in my opinion, with your trade-in. Gold Heat Seeker is a fantastic ability. He's got Silver 1T, Silver Quick Pick, Stick 'em Up, Wheels, as well as Elite Edges. Now, I think that if he got Shutdown or Truculence, it would be a much more interesting conversation, but he just doesn't have any of those amazing abilities on defensemen. Attribute-wise, he's perfect. Also, keep in mind, at the end of the XP path, so around May, if you are still playing and plan on playing all the way through, he will get a 99 that you can take, meaning that you don't have to have his Team of the Year to guarantee a 99 overall version. So again, just something to keep in mind. Now, Miro Heiskanen, probably the most talked about on social media with his selection of Team of the Year. This all but confirms that they essentially go to the end of October, maybe the middle of November, before they make their Team of the Year selection, because as of October 31st, he was the highest scoring defenseman from January 1st to October 31st in the entire league. And then when you include in the fact that Matthew Tkachuk also got one, and that was heavily based on his playoff performance, at least now we know going forward. Now at 6'1", 195, he's a lot better size than Makar, not by much, but it is still a little bit bigger. 94 speed, 93 acceleration, and 92 agility. Obviously is not in the same stratosphere as that. However, much like Cale Makar, he can activate synergies by himself, meaning that you could go Enforcer defenseman on Miro Heiskanen, he will activate it by himself, and now he is all of a sudden up to 96 speed. His body checking would be over 90. That secondary slot, you can go speed boost, and now he's at 98. That third slot, again, I always recommend shooting boost, but if you're able to activate some of the other ones, checking boost would be awesome on him, simply because that would almost max it out. And then all of a sudden, you've got a 98 speed, mid-90s body checking, 6'1" left-handed defenseman with gold shutdown, and he's looking like a stud. So definitely a very strong option as well in Miro Heiskanen. And then we've got Linus Ullmark. When it comes to synergies, I mean, this is the best card in the game to have as a synergy plug because he's got 3 to multiple different synergies. When it comes to attributes, he's got Showstopper, which is definitely one of the best abilities, not just for goalies, but in the entire game. It will significantly reduce the amount of energy that your goalie will lose, which means that he will stay above 50% energy, which means that he will not be into a desperation state nearly as much. Energizer will give a big boost anytime they do make a desperation save, sort of like the goalie version of Born Leader. And then he's got Instincts, which has proven to be a fantastic zone ability for goaltenders as it improves their overall ability to make saves. He's 6'5", he's got great stats. The only issue I have with Linus Ullmark, and I think the biggest thing that hinders his value, is the fact that if he gets a shutout or any other new card, the very next Linus Ullmark will be a 93, which I think hammers his Team of the Year value. Because while you're not going to get these synergy slots, if you're hut rich, it doesn't matter. But if you can only make 2, maybe 3, it all but eliminates him from the equation, unless you're a Boston Bruin fan, because you can just wait for his 93 or 94 to come out, and he's going to be a rock solid option for you that you can just go buy at a fraction of the price. Let's talk about the cost. All right, so you have 1 week to make these players before the Women's Team of the Year event will start, and they will last another week as well. So just realize that you have until Friday at 5 p.m., January 12th, to make the Team of the Year cards. When it comes to creating Team of the Year players, spoiler alert, I made Nathan McKinnon for the not a dollars, but it will cost you $40 straight up to make a Team of the Year player. If you have Connor McDavid, Matthew Tkachuk, or Cale Makar's X Factor, you will receive a discount, sort of, that'll require you to get his X Factor to the highest tier, which is 92 for all of them, and then 22 Team of the Year collectibles, effectively saving you 18 Team of the Year collectibles in total. Now, when it comes to Team of the Year, in terms of the cost on the market right now, I can't give you any tips and tricks on prices and things like that, because the second I do, it will just absolutely tank whatever I say is a good value. Here is what I would recommend. All of your fodder, I can't wait to not use that word anymore, that you have that is untradeable or that you've purchased ready to make a Team of the Year player, here is the order in which I would recommend trading it in. First up would be any of the ones that have players packs. So 87 overall, 2 87s will net you 4 Team of the Year collectibles, as well as 2 players packs. 5 85s will net you 3 Team of the Year collectibles, as well as a players pack. And the reason why I would recommend doing those first is because you might pull something out of those packs. More than likely you won't, but if you have the cards that you're willing to trade in for this event, I would start there, because God forbid you actually pull an untradeable version of one of these Team of the Year cards. Next up, when you are going to buy cards off of the auction house to finish off a Team of the Year set, for the love of God, just go do the math. If it takes 386 overall items and you get 4 Team of the Year collectibles, search the auction house and see what the price is and divide it by the amount of collectibles for the total cost of all of those player items. In this video, let's say there are 86s up for 30,000 coins. Since it requires 3 to complete the set, that would cost you 90,000 coins. You get 4 Team of the Year collectibles, so 90,000 divided by 4, that's 22,500 per collectible. So before you go and drop 90,000 on that, go through the other Team of the Year sets. It is more than likely not going to be the players packs that will have value. Those cards are more expensive simply because everyone is realizing that they include a players pack as well. Those aren't great packs, so I would avoid those trade-in options. The cards on the market are going to be a little bit more expensive. Not worth it. As a general tip, I've noticed that the lower tiered overalls, like 82s, 83s, and 84s, they seem to be the cheapest. We'll see how long that lasts, but I would start there first. Another rule of thumb, it is looking like collectibles are going to settle in at around 22,000 coins per collectible, which means at 22,000 coins per collectible, it is 880,000 to make one of the Team of the Year player items. So understand that if you are going to invest what you have in all of the cards you've saved up, that is the value that you need to eclipse to get one of these cards. It's very expensive, and there is going to be a lot of the player base that simply cannot participate in this event. However, there are some ways to make it a little bit cheaper. We've got Team of the Year objectives, and they actually give out quite a bit, in my opinion. So the Team of the Year Week 1 will net you, in total, 8 Team of the Year collectibles. And for anyone keeping track at home, that's about 175,000 coins in value that they're giving away. Now, to acquire these Team of the Year collectibles, you're gonna need Hutverse player items. And these might be the single most unique cards that have ever been released in Hockey Ultimate Team. There is a lot of people that are going to love them, and a lot of players that are going to hate them, simply based on if you are a hockey traditionalist or not. So let's take a look at those Hutverse cards. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you with the best center in the entire game. Yes, the 90 overall Shea Weber. 5 new Hutverse cards that are from a alternate reality in which they are now playing a different position. Much like the Madden event where they have high-end stars that are released at different positions than what they normally play, we now have this 6'4", 230-pound Shea Weber that has sniper forward and shooting boost as an option to increase his shots, gold 1T, silver quick draw, unstoppable force, and truculence. On top of that, he's got 95 faceoffs, 91 speed and acceleration, as well as 93 balance. One of the funniest cards that you are ever going to see. And like I said, if you're a hockey traditionalist, you're probably going to hate it. But if you want random fun, this is it. Now, I will do a full video and breakdown of the Hutverse cards because I think they deserve it, but just quickly going over the other ones, we've got the left-handed left winger Morgan Riley that has 93 speed and excel, as well as 92 agility, gold tape to tape, close quarters, off the rush, as well as no contest. He's 6'1", 222, by the way. Anze Kopitar, the left-handed defenseman. It's 6'3", 225. Gold shutdown, born leader, seeing eye, and quick pick. He's also got two-way defenseman and defensive boost, which would max out his defensive awareness and stick checking. Unbelievable card, in my opinion. And then the 90 right-handed defenseman, Tage Thompson. He's got two-way defenseman as well as offensive defenseman and shooting boost, so you could max out his shot if you go offensive defenseman, or you can go two-way defenseman and increase his defensive awareness. I'd probably go there. Gold Thunderclap in reverse, stick him up, and silver 1T at 91 speed, excel, and 90 agility. That means you could have a D pair of Tage Thompson and Victor Hedman's Nations of Hockey card that essentially their wingspan could cover the entire ice. Again, just a hilarious event. Lastly, we've got Erik Karlsson, who has always been statted out as a very good winger card. Well, we're going to get one that you can play it forward. He's got sniper forward and playmaking forward, as well as shooting boost and agile dangler boost, gold elite edges, puck on a string, make it snappy, and wheels. He's got 94 speed, excel, and agility. Again, just a very fun card. Now, these will all come at 83 overall once you make them. And again, I will show you how to make them in just a moment. If you want to upgrade these Hutverse cards all the way to 90 overall, it will cost you 15 power-up collectibles. However, if you refund all the way back down to tier 1, you will only lose 5 power-up collectibles. So again, it's not really that big of a net loss if you were to invest in them, because they're probably going to be on your team for quite some time if you want to mess around with any of these cards. But you will be required to have these 83s in your lineup at least to start working towards those objectives for the Team of the Year event. So again, stay with me. I'm trying to make this as streamlined as possible. There's also Hutverse challenges that will allow you to get more power-up collectibles, 5 in total, as well as a few packs. To start out, if you get 5 shutouts in Rivals, Hut Champs, or Squad Battles, as well as just win 10 games in Rivals, Hut Champs, or Squad Battles, that will get you 2 Hut 24 collectibles. Again, you can do this on Rookie Squad Battles at 2-minute periods. Why that's important is because in the Team of the Year sets, you will see the Hutverse. Each of the 83 overall cards, they take 2 of these Hut 24 collectibles that you will get, so you can get a free one by just playing essentially 10 Squad Battles games just to get the games done and over with. On top of that, in the Hut moments, there are actually some hilarious Hut moments, so props to the A team because it's actually pretty funny. For example, the Morgan Riley event. Morgan Riley rewrites history in Game 7 against the Montreal Canadiens in the opening round of the 2021 playoffs, which obviously is hilarious because Toronto lost. However, completing all 5 of these moments will net you 3 Hut 24 collectibles, so you can make another free Hutverse card, as well as 2 more power-up collectibles, which will help you upgrade them if you choose to go that route. When it comes to the store, I know no matter what I say, there will be people out there that rip a ton of packs, and all the power to you. I did not this year. I held firm. The Nada dollars remain untouched. But for anyone thinking about doing this premium Team of the Year event offer for 3,000 points, which will guarantee you 5 Team of the Year event collectibles, just to do the math on that, that's $240 for a Team of the Year card. Hard pass. If you are looking to spend money on packs, I always just avoid all of these gimmicky ones like Greater Chance and all of that. I would totally recommend the Jumbo Elite Players Pack simply because you get 1880 plus cards when the ultimate is 500 points more and there's just 2 more guaranteed 80 and above player items. But really, either of these ones is where I would spend my money if I was going to spend money. All right, I'm going to try and touch on every single situation that I can think of when it comes to what you should do with your Team of the Year player items, including X factors and things like that. So bear with me. If I miss your situation, I apologize. 1, let's get Linus Ullmark out of the way first. The only situation in which I would recommend getting Linus Ullmark is if you are a Hut Whale and EA has milked the tit. Like I said, because of how progression is going to work with these cards, there will be a 93 Ullmark that will come out that will be a fraction of the cost, and goalies simply do not matter. However, if you are Hut rich, even if he sucks in net for you, you've got the best backup goalie on the planet because of the synergies. So again, if you're Hut rich, there's Linus Ullmark. That's the only situation in which I would recommend making Ullmark, or if you're a Bruins fan. The next situation is the hardest. If you are someone that can only make 1 Team of the Year item, you have no X factors, but you can only make 1 Team of the Year item. Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon are the only 2 options in that situation. However, there is a caveat when it comes to McDavid. So let's start with MacKinnon. The reason why I think MacKinnon is the first choice for me is simply because there is no other card that you can upgrade like him, like an X Factor. This would be the only card of the type for Nathan MacKinnon. He has a custom stride, the best zone ability in the game right now, and will hit 99 speed and acceleration immediately when you put him in your lineup. He can play center, so he has the same lineup flexibility. There's really no downfall at all. Nathan MacKinnon would be my number 1 choice. Now, if you want to go Connor McDavid, totally don't disagree with that. It is a 1A, 1B situation. And the reason why it is a 1A, 1B situation for me personally is because while his Team of the Year is simply incredible, he's got gold wheels, all of that, the 3 synergies, it is the fact that you can still get his X Factor. You can make a X Factor choice pack every single month for the rest of the game. And then again, at a cost, obviously, you can upgrade him via power-up collectibles. And again, that isn't the ideal situation, but it is still an option to you, whereas Nathan MacKinnon does not have that option. The other big thing is that even if you can't get him in a choice pack, he is plummeting in price because it is not really a discount to upgrade Connor McDavid's card via power-up collectibles. More on that in just a little bit. He is going to continue to plummet in price and probably level out somewhere around 400,000 coins. So if you really wanted him, you can buy him for 400,000 600,000 coins, or even 600,000, upgrade him all the way up to 92. He's got the same attributes, essentially across the board, and gold wheels. Silver unstoppable force, all you're really missing out on is elite edges, and some other things, obviously, including the synergies. But as you can see, it's not that drastic of a fall down. You get free power-up collectibles in every single event, and one Hut Champs run can essentially get him all the way up to 92. So again, that is why McKinnon is my number 1, and Connor McDavid is 1B. All right, next situation. Let's say you have Connor McDavid's X Factor. It is going to depend on how many other Team of the Year collectibles that you can get. If you think that you will not be able to get very many at all and you have his X Factor, so let's say you take the 8 free ones that come from the objectives, that means you've only got to make 14 to get his Team of the Year card. Obviously, that's a massive advantage because you don't have to pay for the upgrades going forward. You get the triple synergies, all of that. But let's say that you can get 40 Team of the Year collectible. I would go with Nathan MacKinnon. Keep the X Factor Connor McDavid. Grab Nathan McKinnon's card as well. The second situation is, what if you can come close to making another Team of the Year card and you have his X Factor fully maxed? Should you just upgrade him, or would you keep him as his X Factor and go after someone else? In that situation, I would go grab Miro Heiskanen and keep Connor McDavid as an X Factor. Again, I don't fault anyone for taking this trade in and making their Connor McDavid a Team of the Year card. The card is the best card in the game right now. I'm just simply looking at the value and the fact that you're going to be much more easily able to obtain his X Factor card, and power-up collectibles are so easy to come by in NHL 24 that I think for players that can't get a ton of resources, like you're free to play, getting another Team of the Year type player would be a massive addition to your team. Now, in my situation, I do not have his X Factor card. If you are able to make 2 Team of the Year cards, do not have his X Factor, I would make both of these Team of the Year cards. That way you can set it and forget it. The whole wrinkle here is simply that his X Factor is still such a good card and much more readily available. Again, this is all just my opinion. There is no problem at all if you go and get his Team of the Year card. Again, it's free for the rest of the year. You can set it and forget it. You're going to have one of the best cards forever, and there's no cost to upgrade. The next situation is Cale Makar. Easily the question I got the most, and I'm in this exact situation because Cale Makar's Team of the Year card, while incredible, again, is arguably not that much better than his X Factor card. Again, the synergies are a massive bonus right now because there are no other ways to get cards that have that many synergies, and the fact that he can get to 99 speed. His X Factor card won't take long to get there. Again, the next Cale Makar card that comes out will be a 93. Gold Elite Edges, in my opinion, is probably better on him than Gold Heat Seeker, and if you really want Heat Seeker, he's still got it. So I think if you have the X Factor Cale Makar, and you are able to make a Team of the Year, you go McKinnon or McDavid, whatever one you want to go. If you can make 2, and you have his X Factor, I would make both forwards. The only way in which I would make his X Factor card is, again, if you're a fan of the Colorado Avalanche and Cale Makar, and if you've already completed McKinnon as well as McDavid, Heiskanen, there's a conversation for Tkachuk, but that's probably where I would draw the line in terms of the order I would make. Miro Heiskanen, in my opinion, would be the number 3 option to make behind McKinnon and McDavid, regardless. The ability that you can make his skating go up by so much because of him just being able to activate a synergy by himself and having gold shutdown makes him one of the best left-handed defensemen in the game. Now, he did get hurt for quite some time, so he isn't going to get a live moment card, but they can always give charity event cards and things like that, which I'm sure they will, to upgrade him throughout the year. He's such a strong option that he would be my number 3. Now, Matthew Tkachuk. I more than likely would not make Matthew Tkachuk before any of the other 4 forward and defenseman. He would be my 5th option. But again, there are things you need to consider, like the fact that his next card will be a 93, not an 87. And at some point, because he's already in the low 90s, his speed is going to jump up like 2 overall points, because once other attributes hit 99, other attributes have to bump up as well to meet the overall requirement. Enforcer forward, as well as speed boost, already makes him a lot quicker. This is a play for longer down the line. The real issue becomes is if you have his X Factor card, should you upgrade Matthew Tkachuk to his 92 and then take the discount and 22 Team of the Year collect? I am in this situation. I have his 86 overall. It will cost you 9 power-up collectibles to get him to his 92 to get the quote-unquote discount. Here is the issue. Power-up collectibles are 1-for-1 in terms of cost to make as Team of the Year collectible. They are not a discount. Where the discount comes from is the fact that you can get power-up collectibles for free from event objectives as well as Hut Champs. So, if you can get 9 power-up collectibles, you've made McKinnon and McDavid, and potentially Heiskanen. That is where I would pull the trigger on doing the Matthew Tkachuk set. His X Factor is much worse just because of the lack of synergies and things like that. It is one that if you are willing to make the investment and you have power-up collectibles for free, I would recommend doing it. Now, there are all sorts of one-off situations. I tried to cover all of the ones that I saw during my live stream, and I will be sure throughout the week to update you and kind of give you anything else that I kind of see as we go along. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new tips and info. But thank you guys again for watching. Let me know if you pulled any of the Team of the Year cards, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.